Hey friends, welcome to my channel. Let's get crafting. We are going to be making a really adorable bicycle for your front door, and we're going to be needing one of these Frisbees, two of these shovels, and this basket. Now, I also have a tool that I'm going to be featuring. I featured a lot here on my channel. It's called a CROP-A-DILE. But before we move on to that, we're going to take our Frisbee, we're going to find the center point and cut it right in half. And these cut pretty easily. I'm just using an old pair of scissors that I use for a lot of plastic cutting or popsicle sticks. I always like to keep a pair of scissors like this on hand that are a little dull but still are able to go through things, so that way I don't mess up my paper scissors. So I do highly recommend using an old pair of scissors on this so you don't mess up your scissors. Once you've got that cut in half, you're then going to take some popsicle sticks and you're going to just start cutting them down to size so they're small, and we're going to go and glue them, a whole bunch of them, all along the rim of the Frisbee. This is going to allow us to be able to bring the two sides together and support that middle where it's going to look like a tire on a bike, because otherwise it has a hard time staying together and it won't be as strong and sturdy. So I'm just cutting them down. I'm going all along the edge, as you can see here that I'm doing, and I'm just gluing everything together so that it's nice and tight and secure, and it's going to hold the two pieces together. So once I've got that all the way around, I'm taking off the sticker on the inside, I'm adding hot glue on those popsicle sticks, and then I'm bringing together the two sides. And you can see here that I'm adding in that glue and just making sure that it's nice and tight and snug. So at this point, once you've got all of these sides glued and stuck together, we want to conceal this seam line, because obviously this is not the prettiest seam line, and it's going to be off by just a tiny bit because it's kind of tricky to make sure you perfectly add them up. So what I wanted to do was add some more hot glue, and then I found a pretty lace ribbon that I also picked up from the Dollar Tree, because all of these supplies are from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to conceal that line. And once the ribbon is on there, it looks like the tire tread on a bike, which is so cute. I thought this was a really cute detail to add to the bike. So I'm adding just a nice amount of hot glue, coming all the way around that curve, and then cutting off the extra that I don't need. And then now we've got a half part of a bicycle. Now I'm going to be talking about the CROP-A-DILE tool. I've had this tool forever. It's actually a tool to use eyelets on scrapbooking pages and layouts and altered items. I used to be a die-hard scrapbooker, and I still am, but I don't do it as much. But this tool is so cool because it goes through metal. I've had it for years. It goes through hard plastic, and you can see here that it has two different sizes to be able to punch holes. I use the smaller one. So I punched two holes on both sides of my tube of my shovel that I took off the handle and the shovel part, and then I punched two holes on both sides of that Frisbee, so that way I can take some zip ties and tighten it together, so that way it's staying on there nice and secure, and I don't have to just depend on hot glue and E6000. That way it really bonds and holds well, and this is going to be so secure and tight without it falling apart. So here I am, I'm just adding in those zip ties, and now I'm going to come back in towards the top, and you can see here on the Frisbee I cut back a little piece so that the bicycle tire fits nicely up on it. I wanted to be able to make sure that it all fit really well, so I cut back just a little bit on the top part of that Frisbee so that the pole from the shovel can go in there nice and snug. And then I just took that zip tie like you saw there. I punched some more holes, and then I just zip tied it. And now I'm going up towards the top, and I'm punching some more holes here up at the top, and I'm gonna just go through in and out, zip tie it, and then I'm gonna pull it on and then snug it even closer to that pole where the handlebar would be on a bike. Now, to make sure that it doesn't slip out, I'm going to take some E6000 on a popsicle stick, and I'm just going to smooth it out as much as I can, like frosting a cake, and then add some hot glue to make sure it allows it to have that short-term, long-term dry. And then I'm going to just snip off that extra piece up at the top once it's all dry. Now we're going to move on to our basket, and we're going to just take two zip ties, and we're going to find a spot on the bike's support bar that we like, and we're just going to zip tie on that basket. So that way it looks like a cute little beach bike going down on 4th of July. And if you're enjoying this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and click the subscribe button. Alright, I took it outside and I spray painted my whole bike a cherry red. This was so fun at this point because it really came to life and it really looked like a beach bike. Then I took a tote bag from the Dollar Tree. I cut down a piece of fabric so that way I can conceal the foam that's going to be inside. I didn't want to see the foam. I wanted to see the basket and all the fun stuff coming out. So having this little piece of fabric in there is going to allow that foam to be in there without it looking like there's just foam sitting in there. I liked the idea of that being concealed. So now I'm just putting some pieces in there and I'm going to fill it all in with flags and greenery, just like you would see if you were down at a beach and it was 4th of July. This is a really fun thing that we used to get to experience when we lived in California for many years. Huntington Beach has these really fun parades and just 4th of July events. So this just reminded me of being in a beach city and living there for a really long time and loving where we grew up, and I always miss California around 4th of July because of this reason. So now that my basket is nice and full, I'm going to go ahead and take some rope and I'm going to wrap it around the handlebars to make it look like they're handlebars. I went around the bar first and then I went and took another piece and coiled it up. And now I'm going to just make a nice little circle that's going to fit over the end of the handlebar. That's the perfect size. The last thing you're going to do is to add a zip tie on the back to hang it up. Today is Friend Friday and it is the last one that I'm doing because I'm taking a break for the summertime, and the girls that are going to be playing along today, they are all sweet friends of mine. I love them. I thought I would end on a high note with all the girls that I just love and adore personally, that I have become such good friends with here on YouTube. Go down below in the link in the description box and it'll hop you along to the next girl in the hop, and just go all the way around, hopping around through all the channels, seeing their projects for today. And if you're coming over from their channels, welcome. My name is Heidi Sonboul. I love doing DIYs here on this channel. I just have so much fun creating new things and sharing my step-by-step tutorials with all of you to create that high-end look in your home without having to pay a ton of money to get those cute DIYs and projects in your home. Our next project is super simple, and I always like to do one of these at least somewhere in my video because I want you to be able to see that you don't have to spend a ton of time like I would on necessarily a wagon or a bike and creating all those steps. All I'm going to do to create a really cute 4th of July look, I am going to just take one of these cute flags from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to take it off the stick, save the stick for a project we have coming up, and then I'm going to hot glue that flag right to the mason jar. I'm going to take off the lid so that way I can add a candle to the inside, and then I'm going to take some twine and then just wrap it around twice and tie a knot. I think this is the cutest look, super simple to do, and I just love how it looks. And then I decided to add the gold lid back to the top because I just felt like that really finished the look. Now friends, while I'm taking a break from my Friend Fridays all the way until next fall when I come back, I am starting a new series here for the summer. It is called Summer DIY Daily. It is starting on June 8th and it goes all the way to June 31st, and I will be posting a new video Monday through Friday, and each one of those days I will be featuring a smaller channel that deserves a major shout out and some love. And if you don't know, the next DIY challenge is on June 12th at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Here are all the rules. Make sure you play along because it's such a fun challenge. All right, our next project is going to be these supplies: 4 shower rings, a bunch of random popsicle sticks, and then this cute little crate that you can pick up at the Dollar Tree. Now we are going to be making a little wagon, and I'm going to give a shout out in just a moment to someone who I got the inspiration from. They did different steps on their wagon, but I wanted to show a smaller mini version. So what I'm doing right now is I'm taking my popsicle sticks and I'm cutting out a little notch so that it fits nicely on my shower ring. So you can see here that I'm cutting away just a little bit, and I am making sure that it fits nice and tight in there, and it's going to allow it to be able to sit nicely on that shower ring where it's got that divot in that you would lock it onto your shower bar. And I'm going to do that 4 times. I'm going to just add some little bit of E6000 and then go back in and reinforce it with hot glue so it really dries nice and strong, and it's a really sturdy wagon axle base for your little wagon box. So you can see here that I've chipped away a little part so it sits on there nice and perfectly, and then while it's drying I'm going to just test to make sure that it's going to clear the sides of the box, which it does. And then I'm going to go back in and do the other side of the axle. Now we could leave it like that, but honestly that's going to break really easy, and I'm not about that. I want you all to be able to make projects that are going to be able to allow your kids to pick them up without them snapping really easy. So what I'm going to do is, once I've got all 4 of those rings on, I'm going to take it and flip it over, and I'm going to add another popsicle stick to it. And this is going to be able to allow it to be a little bit stronger, and you could leave it like that, or you can continue to make it even stronger. So you can see here that I'm gluing that on, and I'm adding a whole bunch of hot glue around those rings to make sure that that popsicle sticks on there really well. And now I'm going to take another popsicle stick and I'm going to cut it down and create a box, and I'm going to add some hot glue, and I'm going to add that onto it. So you can see that now all of a sudden it's really strong, and it really does look like a wagon axle, and it's going to be able to support the weight of the box and anything you put in it. And if a child picks it up, we don't want it to break, right? Because I have kids. My 4-year-old will not leave this alone now that she knows where it is in her house and she wants to play with it. She keeps telling me she wants to give her Barbies a ride in it. So here we are, just adding on the other, and then you can see here when you put it on, it's created a cute little axle for the bottom of our wagon. Now, this is where I want to give a shout out to Jazz. Friends, do you know who she is? She is so talented. I came across her channel a couple months ago, and I've been seeing a lot of people making her DIYs, and some give her credit and some forget to, but I really wanted to give Jazz a shout out because she is one of those people that I'm shocked she's not at 100,000 yet subscribers on her channel. This DIY is just one of the many adorable DIYs that she does here on her channel. I highly recommend you going and checking her out after the hop. She has video after video after video of amazing ideas that are farmhouse based, and she's just so talented. So I wanted to give her a shout out. We definitely have different steps between the two of us. She made a much larger one, and it is just, it's amazing how she built it. So go check her out. I'm going to link the video down below, and let her know I sent you. Give her some love, send her a little heart, and tell her that I sent you over to say hi to her. And go check her out. I promise you won't be disappointed in her. Okay. Remember that flag earlier that we used on our mason jar? I'm going to just cut a little bit of that stick down. This is the stick left over from that flag that we used earlier, and I decided to repurpose the stick and use it as a handle on my wagon. So I'm going to just take some hot glue and press this right into place and make sure that it's on there nice and secure before I add in some more hot glue. And we want to really reinforce this because this might be one of those ones, if a little kid tried to pick it up by it, it could potentially come off. So just add a lot of hot glue, and those different crevices will allow it to really seal on there nice and tight with enough hot glue. Now at the top I've added 2 small little dowels right underneath that little gold piece on the flagpole. And I'm going to add on some popsicle sticks to really reinforce it, to make sure that it's on there nice and strong and secure, so it looks like the little handle on a wagon, so you could actually pull it. And I just think that this is so cute. I loved Jazz's version because she did a really big one, and it's really pretty. I think she used some canvas frames, and it was just the coolest thing. But here with mine, I'm using this little box. They just started carrying these boxes at the Dollar Tree, and I love these little boxes. They're so cute, and they're the perfect size to put on a shelf if you want to have that wagon look on your shelf for the summertime, or even going into the fall. It could just be so cute, whatever you decide to put inside of your little wagon. And you could even decide to leave it empty, and you could put like a little Christmas tree in it around Christmas time and just switch out your decor. But here I am, I'm adding on these little support popsicle sticks to make the handle look really polished and finished. And then at this point we need to move on to the wheels. So I'm going to take some skewer sticks that you can also get at the Dollar Tree. Everything came from the Dollar Tree for this project. And I'm going to just cut them down to size. Sorry, I was off screen just a little bit when I was doing this. Sometimes it's so hard. I get going and I start crafting, and then I forget that I need to look up just to make sure I'm on screen. So I'm so sorry about that. I really do try all the time to be on camera, on screen, but it just happens sometimes. So I'm just now going to take 4 different sticks, and I'm going to go back and forth on the different sides to make it lay as flat as I possibly can, adding on those 4 skewer sticks, cutting them down to size, and then I'm going to repeat that step on the other 3 wheels as well. And you can see here that it just makes the cutest little wheel. Then I took it outside and I gave it a nice coat of white spray paint. You can spray paint it whatever color you want, or paint it. I like spray paint because it gets in those little crevices really easy and it bonds well to the projects. And then I'm going to take some brown paint and I'm going to dry brush on a little bit of brown paint to give it a distressed look. And then I'm going to take my sandpaper and just rough up the edges. Now I've popped in a piece of foam core. I don't recommend gluing it down if you want to switch it out throughout the seasons. That's what I did. I just put it in there. And now I'm going to add in some ferns and some eucalyptus and some boxwood. And I'm just going to make it look really green and full. And then I'm going to add in 3 little 4th of July flags. I just think that these little American flags are so cute from the Dollar Tree. And I do like to manipulate them a little. You can see here that I'm waving them back and forth to give them some more texture versus just having them laying in there where they look all kind of out of control. I love to just play with them and twist them around to make them have that finished look. And then once you've got them all in, you can display them on your shelf. Friends, I hope that you enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below to let me know which was your favorite project today, or if you like them all. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and click the subscribe button, because you are not going to want to miss that new series that's coming up this summer. And don't forget, I do plan on starting back up Friend Fridays, but they're coming back in the fall. Also, don't forget to come over and say hi to me on Instagram if you try any of these, or if you just want to share your craft room and what you're doing and what you're up to. And then I also have a channel called Heidi Sonboul Home. I'll link it at the end of this video and down below in the description box. And I hope you enjoy this last hop until the fall. Thanks so much for stopping by, and until the next episode, bye friends.